I record my podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I wake up early, I do my morning routine, and then I meditate for 10 minutes to get a really good idea of what I want to talk about. And I really kind of look into my heart and see what's going on and what I feel I want to share with y'all. But not this Friday. This Friday had different plans for me. It was really fascinating because I remember a place where I was conscious but not conscious. I was awake, yet I was asleep. I was aware, but I was unaware. I was dreaming, but I was awake. It was just so bizarre. There was a moment in time before I woke up where I felt my body drop into my body. Like it felt like I dropped maybe a foot or two. So it wasn't a big drop, but I distinctly remember dropping into my physical body and then turning to the left, my whole body turning to the left really quickly. And it was like an eighth of a turn. It wasn't big, but it was like short and fast. And then I was like, whoa, what was that? And then, but I didn't wake up then. I woke up when my alarm went off, and it was really, that moment was so strange because I remember it like I was awake for it, but I wasn't awake for it. Yeah, I hope you're with me so far. It was just so bizarre. And then I woke up, and as I sat up, I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? I felt so sick and so dizzy. I knew instantly that I had vertigo. I had had this once before, and before that, I've never had it before. So I didn't know what it was at first, but this time I knew exactly what it was only because I'd experienced it before. And it is a horrible, horrible feeling because basically you can't do anything. You can't walk. You could barely stand. I felt so sick to my stomach. I couldn't do anything because I just felt so nauseous and so dizzy. And anytime if I walked anywhere, I had to hold on to the walls or the railings everywhere I went. And so this was a real bummer for me because I have big plans. And when something like this happens, it totally knocks you on your ass. And the last time this happened to me was when I was going on my big trip to Costa Rica, which is fascinating. I'll tell you a little bit more of the story and I'll tell you why this is so fascinating. So I am totally obsessed with tennis these days, and I have a lot of tennis to play, and there's an actual tennis tournament coming up for our club next weekend. And the first thing I thought is like, oh my God, because it took me a month to feel better from the last time I had it. Like I literally had to travel with it because I had no other option. And it hit me like, I think 1 or 2 days before I was traveling. So it was very, very intense. And it took a long time to go away. But this time I'm like, okay, now at least I know what I'm dealing with. But I have a tennis tournament in less than a week. And so me and my partner have been practicing really hard. And we're so excited to play in this tournament because we're just having so much fun together. And I don't want to let him down. And I really want to play in the tournament. So I'm bringing out all the stops. What do I know? If I like to heal my body holistically, then what's my next step? How do I up this? First of all, there's a method that you can do. I can't remember what it's called. Starts with an E. Epsom method. And it's basically based on, there's a crystal, like a calcium crystal in your ear that breaks loose. And that's what causes vertigo. And so in order to try to get it back to where it wants to go, you have to do this movement like you lay on your back with a pillow between your shoulders so your head is dipped back, and I couldn't even do it yesterday because I was just so nauseous. I could not even do it. I literally had to like find a spot where I was just not nauseous and stay in that position the whole day. It was a really crappy day. And I feel for anybody that's experiencing any kind of chronic anything that shuts them down like that. But with this method, so you have to tilt your head back. And so today I was able to do it. And then it's going to be one side or the other that causes it. For me, it's the right side. When I tilt my head to the right, it sets it off. And so your head is tilted back, and then you tilt your head to the right, and then tuck your chin down, and you hold that for a minute. And then you go over to the other side. So now it's like to the left, tuck your chin and hold that for a minute. And then from there, what you do is you sit up still in that position, and then you slowly straighten your head out. And that allows the crystal to go back to where it came from. Stop that crystal, go back, stop it. And so from there, it's going to help you feel better. And I did that a lot the last time I had this. So today I did it for the first time because I was able to today. I feel way better today. And then what else did I do? Oh, I sat in the sunshine because I know sunshine is good for me. But I went to my traditional Korean medicine doctor. And the reason I went to him is because their philosophy, which is my philosophy, which is we got to find the why. We got to find the cause of things. And just like Korean traditional medicine is very similar to Chinese traditional medicine in the fact that they're looking for the cause of what's going on. And so I went in to see him, and what he told me was that my chi is stuck just like below my chest in my stomach area. My chi is blocked and it can't come up anymore. And that's why I'm getting headaches and the dizziness. And so his job is to release it. But he also said it's like my central meridian and my kidney meridians. And this is caused, vertigo is caused by stress. And it's also caused by some sort of trauma or shock to the system. So I don't know what, because I felt like I'm never a really stressed person. Although when I think back on it, this happened just before I was about to go to Costa Rica, which was stressful because I was going for 3 months. And I'm planning a trip next week. Isn't that interesting? Like I'm planning a trip just for a couple of days, but maybe that's the common denominator. Because I don't know of anything that here's another story. So I'm going on the fact that I am maybe unconsciously stressed because I feel like I purposefully live a stress-free life on purpose because I know that stress is the cause of many diseases. But what was I thinking? Oh, see, now I lost my train of thought. Oh, the stress. Yeah. So there's a shock or a trauma that can cause it too. And I know this might not be it, but this is what popped into my brain is the day before that I woke up with the vertigo, I had gotten a new Ninja food processor, a whole kitchen, like it does all of it. And I was super excited because I don't really cook, but I blend stuff. I blend and food process everything because I try to eat whole clean foods and, in their most natural state. So it involves like just blending stuff and putting it together. And I had this old Ninja and this old food processor, and they're kind of on their last legs because I use them a lot. And so this one was on sale at Costco. I was super excited. And then my son wanted these, like late on Thursday night, my son was like, oh, let's make these pecan pie bites. They're healthy pecan pie bites. And I made them for my Canada Day party because it's my brother's birthday and he loves pecan pie. So I was making this because there's no refined sugar in it. It's a healthy version of it. And my son loved it. So he's like, can we make some more of those? And I'm like, yeah. Should I use the old food processor or should I bust out the new one? I'm like, let's bust out the new one, which I shouldn't have because it was late and I don't want to have to figure stuff out. But in the process of busting it out, I took out one piece that was covered in blue plastic. And as I just pulled the edge off just a little bit, it slipped. And that's right. I almost cut my finger off because it was so sharp. But the worst part was I saw it happen. So I was looking at it and I saw the razor like slice through my flesh. Oh my God, I want to barf just thinking about it because it's so disgusting. And the razor, the blade was so sharp. It cut through it like butter. Like it was just like, I did not need to see that. That was horrifying for me. So that I thought maybe that could be some sort of a trauma. But I'm just showing the YouTube people, you can see my finger has healed up really quickly, actually. So today is Saturday, and this happened on Thursday night, but it didn't stop bleeding at first. It was quite deep, and I was worried because it didn't stop bleeding, but I just put a gauze around it and then taped it so there was lots of pressure on it, left it like that, slipped like this with my thumb up, with my finger up. And the next day it had stopped bleeding, and it's coming together quite nicely. See, isn't this amazing how wonderful the human body is, how it heals itself? Like, you can see this if you're watching this, that it actually like just glues itself together and then repairs itself. I love the human body. It is so insane. That's what the body is designed to do, is to heal itself. And because it was such a I make myself sick just thinking about it, but it was like such a clean cut that it will just heal back quite nicely. So maybe that was my trauma that triggered it, or it could be traveling. I don't know. I love traveling, but I guess maybe unconsciously or subconsciously traveling, organizing it could be stress, because I left it to the last minute. I'm always leaving things to the last minute. That's how I roll. That's how I am. So that's what I've been doing to help heal my vertigo. And this doctor is so good. I just love him so much. He just comes and he gets the energy flowing. Like, his mission is to get the chi flowing all the way up. And so he needs to remove energetic blocks to do that. And what I didn't know, because this is the first and second time I went to see him, and I'm going back on Tuesday, because his expectation is when I sit up, he's like, do you still feel dizzy? His expectation is that I won't feel dizzy anymore. And if I do, then there's more work to do. So I go back to see him on Tuesday. But I didn't know this because it was my first time seeing him, but he did all of his things and then did the acupuncture. And then he just leaned over and whispered in my ear. He goes, now, Heather, you're laying on an automatic massage mat. I'm about to turn it on. And I'm like, what? And he turned it on, and then it was just heaven. It was like, do. It goes all the way up and down your body in certain patterns and rhythms. And I was like, oh my God, I could just stay here all day. It was so cool. And when I first went in there, I could kind of hear weird sounds going on, and I didn't know what they were, but I figured out that that's what it was. He goes, I'll be back in 10 minutes. And it was so nice. It was a great way to end it. And it's just based on all of the meridians and patterns and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't do the same thing all the time. It does all these different patterns, and it's just like, so good. I loved it. Especially because he saves it till the end. So, and then the other thing that I was doing was putting neti. So this here, it's just a little seed. It's used a lot for Indian cooking. And I've put it on a couple of pressure points to help relieve the dizziness and the nausea. And I'm going to keep it on there all day. So I will do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. I'll do all of it just in order to feel better, because I felt so horrible. And the reason that I wanted to tell you about all of this is because this is why we work so hard to stay healthy. I am a super healthy person, and I literally just woke up one morning and got knocked onto my ass and not able to do anything really. Like, yesterday was a struggle. I have my kids here to help me. Like, my son had to drive me to my appointment and that, but it can change so quickly. But in my mind, like, that's a horrible way to live. And I feel like we want to be our own advocates. We want to be so healthy that if anything happens, we're just so healthy we can bounce back quickly. We never want to be in that state. And if we do get into that state, we want to figure a natural way to heal it, right? Like, my son is experiencing eczema right now, really bad. So we're doing an elimination diet, but what we're going to do is an IgG test. So that will, and a lot of people don't know about this, it's an IgG. That is, you can test for the IgG in the foods that cause delayed food allergies. Not an allergen, not food that you are allergic to, but a delayed food allergen, because there's a difference. One is you'd be like, oh, I ate a peanut and now I'm having trouble breathing. But delayed food allergies could be in your body, in your physical body, manifesting, and there's no outside signs. So it could be like, hey, maybe tomatoes are bad for you, but you don't know they're bad for you because you don't get a rash. But when you eat them, now your body's fighting this food as opposed to digesting it, absorbing it, using as nutrients. And when your body's fighting something, then it can't heal itself. It can't, pump your blood and regulate your temperature and do all the things that your body's supposed to do. And over time, it can be accumulative. And that's what the eczema is, right? The eczema is a reaction to a food. And so instead of guessing what food it is, because he's a super clean eater, we're going to do the IgG test. So we test for the IgG against certain foods. And if it's there, then we know that there's a reaction there. That's how it works, as opposed to the IgE antigen. It's an IgG antigen. But nonetheless, in order to get this test, you need to get a doctor to fill out the requisition. And our family doctor retired in December, so we don't have one. So we have to do an on-call, like just talk with a doctor and go, here's what we need. And this doctor gave us the wrong slip and he has no idea what it's for. But the first thing, because he's never done it before, which makes sense, and they're trying to figure it out. But the whole point of this is when the doctor saw his hands, the first thing he said was, do you want me to prescribe a cream for this? And we said no, because that's what the doctors do. That's what they're trained to do, because that's not getting to the root cause of what's causing the eczema in the first place. So we want to find out what's causing it and then stop doing that, and then the eczema will go away. And it's funny because there's 5 top allergens, and if you stop those, usually it will go away. And it's gone down a ton. So we just want to make sure, because he eats super clean, like he doesn't eat a ton of foods, but they're all whole clean foods. So he's a super clean eater to begin with. So if he does have a delayed food allergy to one of those, it's going to be a big reaction because he eats a lot of those foods. Like he'll eat a ton of apples, a ton of bananas, right? So if he has a delayed food allergy to apples, then it's going to be big because he's eating so many of them. He eats a ton of eggs, like that type of thing. So it's just a difference between the Western doctor who's like, here, let me prescribe a cream, and the Korean traditional medicine doctor who's like, let's find out the root cause of this. And he also looked at my son and said, well, it's not a food, because if it was a food, it would be all over your body. And my son doesn't like the needles, so he did not get acupuncture. But he also told him that it's not his digestion. His digestion is excellent. So we're back to the food thing. So we have to wait for this doctor to get us the proper requisition, because he's never done it before, because his clients or patients don't do that. They don't want to, they don't know that they can do that to find out that they're eating foods that their body is actually fighting. So it's like putting a toxin in your body. Your body has to fight it every time it goes in. And then it throws it off balance, throws it out of homeostasis. So my friends, in summary, I just wanted to come on here to say, we have to be in charge of our health. We have to advocate for ourselves. If somebody tells you something you don't like when you go see a healthcare professional, find somebody else. Get 3 opinions, get 4 opinions, but always find the root cause, and always find the most natural way that you can get your body back into homeostasis the quickest. And that's how you want to heal yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's up to you. Because the doctors, they're wonderful people, but they don't care about you. Once they see you, then they're on to the next person. They're not going to stay up late at night thinking about you or worrying about you. But you live with yourself. You live with your body. And you know when something's off. You trust it. And there's always a natural way to heal it. If there's an illness in your body, it's only because your body is out of homeostasis. So our number one job is to get our body back in homeostasis. And we just have to ask the question, why? Like, what's the root cause? What's out? Remember, it's always like too much of something, toxicity, or not enough of something, deficiency. And we just got to figure out which one it is in the most quickest natural way possible, and then give our body everything it needs and it will heal itself. So as I'm healing, I'm just listening to my body. Yesterday, I was so tired and I couldn't move. So to me, that means my body's telling me just lay in one spot, just lay down, just chill out, just relax, don't do anything. So if you're sick, like say you have the flu and your body wants to throw up, don't take anti-nausea medicine. Let your body get rid of it. That's what it's supposed to do, right? Or if you have a fever, don't take fever lowering medication because your body has that fever because it's trying to kill certain bacteria in your body. Like there's a reason why your body's doing it. If you feel super tired when you're sick, your body's like, lay down and go to sleep so I can like stop doing everything else so I can focus on getting rid of this out of your body, out of your system. Your body is just brilliant. And so I'm just listening to it. I felt sick, so I just didn't eat. And then when I feel like my body feels hungry, then I'll eat. And I'll be like, what does my body feel like eating? Is it soup? Is it toast? Like, what is it? And it will always tell me. Because it's horrible to feel like this. And I don't want anybody to feel like this. But I want you all to know that you can fix it. You can make the difference. It's up to you. I want you to look after yourself like you're the most important person in your life, because you are. So go out there and be fabulous and be healthy, and always listen to your brilliant body. Listen to the cues that it's giving you, because everything that happens is just feedback for you to solve problems, to solve the mystery. Thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first and have an amazing day.